Good evening, everybody. At this time, please silence your cell phones and be advised these proceedings are being recorded. For those physically present in the council chambers who desire to address the city council during the meeting, please complete the request to speak form available at the front entrance of the council chamber and present it to the city clerk. Speakers physically present will be called upon at an appropriate time, and each person is allowed 3 minutes of speaking time. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order on Wednesday, November 12th at 6 p.m. Tonight we'll be closing in honor of Deputy Andrew Nunez, who passed away on October 27, 2025 in the line of duty. Before we do the invocation, can we please have a moment of silence? Thank you. Officer Nunez was survived by a 2-year-old daughter and a baby on the way, and his wife, so our prayers are for him. And LT, was he alone on that call? Did he go solo, or did he have a partner?
He was the first on scene, yeah. So there's many, many people that were on their way to that. It was a domestic violence call, but he was the first to arrive on scene. And when he arrived on scene, he was met with gunfire.
Okay, thank you. All right, so the invocation is going to be given by Dr. Sunny. She came all the way from Hawaii to do the invocation, right? Is that what we're talking about? But she's now at the New Beginnings United Methodist Church in San Bernardino, and then our Boy Scouts will be leading the Pledge of Allegiance. So please stand.
Let us pray. Gracious God, on this day after Veterans Day, we pause with gratitude. We give thanks for veterans of our community and nation first, for their courage, sacrifice, and the families who stood beside them. We give thanks for our council members, for their time and decisions to serve our community. Guide this council tonight. Grant wisdom that seeks the common good, courage to make right decisions, and patience to listen well. Bless our mayor, council members, and city staff, and all the citizens of this county and city with clarity, integrity, and compassion. Help all who will speak tonight to speak with civility, to differ without division, and to work together for the safety, flourishing, and unity of our community. May our actions honor the trust our neighbors have placed in us, and may peace and justice take deeper root in this city we love. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Color guard attention. Color guard advance. Color guard, prepare to post the colors. Those in uniform, please salute. If you're out of uniform, please post your right hand with your partner. Color guard, post the colors. Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. Audience, please be seated. Color guard. Mahalo, Dr. Sunny. Thank you. Thank you, Troop 40. Madam City Clerk, can we have roll call, please?
Councilmember Brown,
Here.
Councilmember Allen,
Here.
Councilmember Wilson,
I'm here.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabino,
Here.
Mayor Hussey.
Present.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Public comment, this is opportunity for members of the public to comment any item on the agenda only. At a special meeting, the city council persuade the California law, the city council will be taking public comment to items in the agenda. Is there any public comment?
No, sir.
Special presentation. Is that why everybody's here? I thought they're here to see me or something. No? All right. Special presentation, certificate of recognition, Chance Baker and Ali Hart. You guys are senior world skate, right? All right. I think I saw you guys perform. Yeah. Lori Becker, would you like to come up and say some words on? Is Lori Becker here?
Let's let them talk. They're the ones who did it. Go ahead.
Okay, well, here's an opportunity for you guys to tell us everything that's going on.
All right, we appreciate the opportunity. We thank you guys for helping us out along our journey. We just got back from Beijing, China at the Artistic World Roller Skating Championships. We placed 16th in the world in the senior couples dance division. That's basically everything. We really appreciate all of the help you guys have supported us with along the way, and for Mayor Bill Hussey, he came out and watched our show a couple of months back.
Aaliyah was the youngest skater at the World Championships. She's 13 years old.
Wow. So what'd you think of China?
It was interesting for sure. I've never been anywhere in Asia, and she's never been. Well, you went to Italy a couple months back, but definitely an interesting experience for sure. Very different than it is here.
Wow. So how many days were you there?
We were there 10 days. Yeah, so we definitely got a good look into their way of life.
Did you get to do sightseeing at least?
Yeah, we went to the Great Wall. We went to the Forbidden City. It was really pretty.
Cool. Anything else that stuck out besides, the competition?
It was definitely interesting. They're trying all their different food, trying to find stuff that we could, like a sustainable way for us to get all of our food in before our practice was interesting.
For me, it was an honor to be able to represent the USA at such a young age and to skate amongst so many amazing skaters. It's what I've been working for this entire time, for years on end. And for my first time, it was amazing and unforgettable. So thank you for all of your guys' help.
Wow. Well, thank you. The council have anything to say? Councilman Allen?
So, congratulations. I mean, 16th out of the world. That's incredible. I'm so impressed, and I would just like to know what's next.
What's next is we're gonna try again. We've already started on our routines for this coming year, so hopefully we'll be able to represent the United States again next year.
Is it always in Beijing, or does it
No.
rotate around through different
Yeah,
cities?
it's in a different country every year.
Okay.
I've been to South America twice and Europe twice, and it's going to be back in South America again next year in Paraguay.
Okay. So we look forward to hearing and seeing that you're going to be headed that way again. Y'all too now.
Yes,
We're so
yes.
proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much for coming back.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Well, you're not done yet. I'm going to have the Mayor Pro Tem read a certificate, then we'll have you come up here and we'll take some pictures, and we got a little thing for you. And put her to work.
The City of Grand Terrace congratulates you on your outstanding achievements in senior world skate dance. Your dedication, discipline, and passion for the sport have led to remarkable accomplishments, including earning the gold medal at the Southwest Championships, the silver medal at the national championships, and the opportunity to represent the United States of America at the World Championships in China. You serve as an inspiring example of youth, excellence, and perseverance. Thank you again. We couldn't be prouder of you representing Team USA and the city of Grand Terrace.
So I think I saw the mayor pro tem, she was doing some twirls and stuff. Did you guys teach her that? But she had that little walker. I don't know what's going on. She's keeping track of every time I get off subject. Okay, the certificate of recognition for the sheriff's substation. Mr. John Gallo, would you like to come up and say some words?
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council, and especially Lieutenant Fries and the support that we have for the substation project. Tonight we have the honor of having everybody that was part of this project here. Most everybody could make it, but you know, a lot of work went into this, and we started the project last year. We continued it this year. And all told, it was about almost $24,000 that went into this. The city, thanks to Conrad's help, the city and our finance manager, helping find some money to come up with some additional resources. All told, this year's project was just under $10,000, with $4,400 being contributed by the city. And so with that, we just have some slides to kind of show what everybody was doing. I don't know if Daisy's going to forward them or if I need to. You're going to? Oh, AJ is. All right. First up, couldn't have done it without John and Alma Alonso. They worked diligently with Patricio and Maestro Tile Installation to get the best prices possible, to do everything that we needed to do to get all the tile work done for the shower. And so first up, we have John and Alma Alonso, recognizing them for their work. Then the next slide, couldn't have done it without Mike Simon and Quality First Plumbing. My gosh, talk about in for a penny, in for a pound is what Mike told us when we started finding other problems in this project. So along with doing all the shower installation, all the plumbing and everything, installing the tankless water heater, all the gas line that had to be run from literally across 2 buildings to be able to do the gas heater, He wasn't done though, because when I told him we were going to get a shower rod and a curtain, he goes, "Oh no, we're not going to ruin all this work with a shower curtain." And so he opted to pay for the glass door, and all the installation was luckily done for us with another member of Grand Terrace Cars and Coffee that volunteers his time. He didn't have a car, but we'll talk about him in a minute. But again, Mike Simon, Quality First. They did so much work on this building to run everything. In the midst of all that, you see TW kneeling down there fixing the water main, because it turned out as we got into this project, we couldn't turn the water off to the building. And so they had to completely redo the water main, and it required the city hall and this whole property to have the water shut down for about a half a day so that we could do the plumbing for the water main. So with that, on to the next slide. Couldn't have done it without Will and Will Power. He was able to get all the electrical set up for the thermostat control for the gas heat, for the tankless water heater, and so he was able to make it here tonight. Patricio, my gosh, talk about, back to Mike's comment, in for a penny, in for a pound. When Patricio saw the project and realized what all needed to be done, we weren't even scratching the surface. Not only putting all the backer board up and doing all the work to prepare for the tile work, but once we got done, we realized that, well, we don't really like what we're gonna put down for flooring. So Patricio and Maestro Tiling volunteered to cover the cost to do the flooring in the bathroom and also in the shower. And again, heavily discounting all his work and labor and supplies to do the work. So luckily he's here tonight with his son, Leonardo, who also helped a lot on the project. Then on the next slide, Dave, I don't know if he's here, I didn't see him earlier, but Dave Hutchison is a longtime resident of Grand Terrace. When I told him what we were doing, that we needed the drywall work done to repair the damaged area from ripping everything out, he said, "I'll do it." And so he came on his own time to do all the drywall to finish off the bathrooms, the shower, so it could be finished. Then on the next slide, that's where we, I'm not a handyman guy. I know what I do is great. When I work on cars, you don't want me with a tool belt and stuff like that. I'll leave that to Conrad and some of the others, but I recruited Dave to come in and do the framing for installing the glass shower door and everything, and so he volunteered all his time and work to do that so we could finish off the project. Then the next slide. We left a mess. Okay, you can't have this much construction going on, and as careful as everybody was, I decided to reach out to Gary Young and his dad, Norm, and said, "Would you mind coming and refreshing the whole carpeting in the entire substation?" I go, "What would you charge me?" He goes, "Nothing. It's for Grand Terrace. I'm going to donate that." So Gary and his dad came and they cleaned all the carpeting in the main areas of the substation. They did the what's going to be the conference room at some point in time. And so then we got done with that. So in the end, thank goodness for Margie Miller and Jim Miller, we were out of money. And thanks to our members with Marcel Toledo, Ed and Becky Giroux, Stephanie Weber, Margie and Jim, they covered the bulk of the cost for the tile in the bathroom because there was no saving that floor. And the only thing we could do is just rip it all out and redo it. And so we ended up doing that. Thanks to everybody's donations, we were able to get all the hardware to put in the new shower, the floor mats, the bench, everything for the shower area. Even the lighting, it was interesting. One of the deputies, I was talking to her and I said, "Okay, I've always learned if you really want to know what you need, you just step back and let a woman walk in and tell you what you need." I used to do that when I ran a store with my wife, so no different on this. So I asked the deputy, I said, "What do we need in here?" She goes, "Well, first of all, you need lighting. You can't even see." And so we were able to put new lights in both the shower and the bathroom, and we took care of that. So in the end, you know, a lot of work went into this, over 100 hours, over 2 weeks. If you add that to last year's project, that's almost $24,000. Most of it was garnered through donations. Lieutenant Fries knows I'm not done. I'm not done until we pass something that's going to get us more revenue to get the proper staffing in our community for the sheriff's support that we need. I knew where Mayor Hussey was going when he asked if that deputy was responding by himself on this call where Deputy Nunez was killed. We had a similar situation happen in our city. I will not sleep, I will not rest until we get the adequate coverage that we need in our city to be safe for our residents, our deputies, and all our first responders. So with that, that kind of ends where everything is, but I can't stop there. There's some guy sitting up there on the dais that snuck in on 4th of July. He did all the framing work on the shower. So our city manager even jumped in on this project. He did the framing for the outside of the shower area. He made sure that working with Christine, we were going to have some money to cover some of the costs. But in the end, it's about a community coming together, believing in a vision. I've been very lucky through this whole project. I seem to have a lot of people that trust in what I say we're going to do something, that we're going to do it. And so with that, I want to thank all those that believe in the vision that I have, that I share with them, and that they're willing to roll up their sleeves and come to work, do the things that we need to do to make our city a better place. So with that, I want to thank all those that are here, thank the mayor and the council, our finance director, Lieutenant Fries, for all the support. We still got work to do. Thank you.
Thank you, John. And Mayor Pro Tem would like to read the certificate, please.
On behalf of the city of Grand Terrace, we'd like to extend our sincere appreciation for your generous support, valuable time, and expert contributions, which played a pivotal role in advancing the Sheriff Substation project. We proudly celebrate your commitment to progress and the spirit of partnership that made this achievement possible. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the council have anything to say?
Yeah, it's an amazing task that you all completed there. It really is. I'm so proud of you all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. LT, you have anything you want to say?
I do, yeah. So I've been in contact with Johan through this entire project, and I'm like you as well. You wouldn't want to see me do any of this. So for me, this is incredible. What I see what you've done with that place, and I haven't had a chance to meet with all of you and formally thank you. But gosh, I'm so impressed with, and I've said this since I arrived in this station a year ago. I came here last October, and since the day I landed in Grand Terrace, there's not a time that goes by that I don't speak so highly about the city. I don't live in Grand Terrace. I live just outside in High Grove here, but I do mostly everything in Grand Terrace. And it's things like this, communicating with Johan and seeing the work, and I can't help but think of community. Everybody I talk to, even at Veterans Park yesterday, talking to some of the people, there is such a community here, and there's such a pride of the people that live in Grand Terrace, and it's a testament that when Johan, who's a longtime resident of the city, reaches out and asks for help, like there's no shortage of anybody that comes to help, and that's with anything that goes on. We had the blackouts and the senior center needed help. Like every time that somebody needs help, it's just so incredible to see everybody step up. And this is just another example of just like thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the sheriff's department, from the sheriff himself. I mean, thank you for stepping up to handle this. And I agree with Johan. I hope this is not where it ends. I hope that we can fully staff this because it's just going to make the community so much better to make this a fully functioning, fully staffed sheriff station that we can just provide a better service for this community. So again, thank you so much for everything you do, and thank you for this project.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. And Gary, maybe if you become friends with Johan, you'll get your roof done. Conrad?
I do want to make a comment. I really thank all of you involved in that. It really was a group that came together. Johan spearheaded this. I think he underestimates the value of the labor. and the value of the materials, if somebody were to go pay for this thing, we'd probably be $50,000 or $60,000 into this. Yeah, Mike's shaking his head, yes. And the amount of work that Johan has done between the whole station, we're probably in donated time and labor pushing well over $100,000. City's also done parking and fencing and gates so that we have a place to park the policemen. That's, almost to $100,000. With all of that, it really is a waste until we can get the financing and the funding to staff that station. And this is vital and critical to our community. We have a shortage of resources, and we're not able to take advantage of this beautiful facility. We should have guys coming to work there every day. We should have guys starting their shift, ending their shift, and being in that building 24 hours a day. And we don't have the funds to do that. And it's our fault for not doing that. So we need to go into the future, and we need to figure out a way that we're going to generate the revenue for that. But with all of that, we have set the table. Now everybody needs to sit down and serve the meal. Thank you.
Thank you, Conrad. Yes, I concur that, this is a beginning. But we need to roll up our sleeves and do what's great for our city. It's an investment, not only for the city to protect our city, but also to protect our men and women serving our city. And just like Officer Nunez, you go on shift, you want to come back home to your family. You're not going on shift to think you're going to get in a gunfight. You have to be ready, but you don't want to be in a gunfight. No officer wants to pull his weapon out. You never know. But this is a small step forward, so we, protect our officers so they have a place to rest, relax, do their reports, but we need to make it staffed. We need to have staff here. And you can have all the bullets and the bandages and bad guys, but you need the troops to take care of it, and that's our main goal. And then we have the senator's office. Would you like to, young lady? We have a guest speaker. Thank you for coming.
Not the senator. Second best thing, though. Good evening, Mayor, Council, and everyone here. For those of you that don't know, I have the pleasure of visiting Grand Terrace at least once a month here at City Hall to meet with constituents. It's the senator's firmest belief that we must be as available and accessible to all constituents in her district. So I come here once a month for anyone and everyone to come in, stop on by, share any issues they're having with state agencies, leave their bill comments, whatever it may be. I'm here for that purpose, and it brings me joy when someone visits. And Johan came in this past Thursday. I come in the first Thursday of every month, and was letting me know of all the progress and all the work that's been made on this substation. So can I invite him up to present him as the leader of this fearless effort? Sure. I want to present him, all of City Council, and every single one of you who's put in all of this work to this substation. You are reaping the benefits. You're looking to support your city, and that's civic engagement like no other. So this certificate will be presented to Johan tonight, but it's for every single one of you for the dedication, the selflessness that you've given the community. You are building the city that you want to see and you want to raise your children in. So I'm so, so blown away by this effort. So Johan, if I can present this to you really briefly. It says City of Grand Terrace because it's all of you. It's a collaborative effort. But to the City of Grand Terrace, on behalf of your senator, we want to thank you for your leadership, your dedication, your selfless service into getting this community project up and running on its feet. So thank you, everyone, all of you.
Melissa, Lisa, if you want, you could join us up here as we hand out these certificates so you can shake everybody's hand. So can we go ahead and come up? And I'll bring John up. You're going to be announcing the names, buddy. We're going to make you work. You're the leader.
if you'll indulge me for just one other minute. I don't think anybody in the room appreciates what it means to a deputy when it's late at night, nothing else is open but a couple of gas stations, and they need to go to a restroom, knowing they've got to drop their belt and everything else, and they need a safe and secure place to do it. That really hit home with me when the deputy was explaining that to me, that now they finally have a safe place to go to the restroom, get some water, and get back out on the street.
Well, thank you. I see that the skate people skated out of here and left already, huh? Mark it down. Anyway, thank you, everybody, for making this, reality, and for all the hard work that you put in. And, when I went there, I was like, man, you guys are working too hard. I got to leave, I was like, oh, please don't let my wife come over here because she's going to want to have me do stuff. But, thank you for everything you do. All right, consent calendar. The following consent calendar items are expected to be routine and non-controversial. Will be acted upon by the City Council at any time without discussion. Any council member or citizen may request removal of the item consent calendar. Is there any public comment on the consent calendar?
No, sir.
Do we have any removal on anything? So I need a motion and a second, then I'll have the attorney read.
I'll make a motion to move the consent calendar.
Second.
A second. So the attorney, you want to read?
Because it's a special meeting, we don't have any ordinances on the agenda tonight.
Okay, so you have nothing to pass then?
Nothing to pass.
All right. I wanted you to say something tonight, just so that way, Adrian, so we can say you did a good job.
Well, just a reminder to close public comment also.
Okay. Thank you. I knew you were good for some. We'll close public comment. See, Daisy, what, you're supposed to help me here. We had a So we have a motion and a second. Public comments closed. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
All right, public hearing none, and finished business none. New business, Historical and Cultural Activities Committee, member appointed.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Daisy Alcacer, City Clerk. Staff report before you is the appointment of a Historical and Cultural Activities Committee. The committee has a vacancy as of September 9 of this year. In the staff report, it does state August 26, 2025. That is a typo. I do apologize. So the notice of vacancy was posted in the newspaper, social media, and here at City Hall. We did receive one applicant. He goes by the name of Luke Poutre, and he's gonna go ahead and make a brief statement.
Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council. My name is Luke Poutre, and I'm honored to be considered for appointment to the Historical and Cultural Activities Committee of Grand Terrace. My family has lived in Grand Terrace since 1960, and I take great pride in our community's history and legacy. Professionally, I am an archaeologist and a museum curator specializing in cultural resource management and public engagement. I currently serve as NAGPRA coordinator and assistant curator of anthropology at La Sierra University, where I work with tribal governments and descendant communities to preserve and interpret cultural heritage. I've also worked on archaeological and environmental projects throughout Southern California, collaborating with local tribes and helping to protect historic resources in our region. My background includes leadership experience in the U.S. Army Civil Affairs, where I was trained in cross-cultural communication and community engagement. If appointed, I hope to use this experience to help I hope to use my experience to help the committee promote awareness of Grand Terrace's history, connect residents, especially younger generations, to our heritage and to ensure our city's unique stories are preserved and shared with pride. Thank you for your time and consideration. It would be a privilege to serve this community and contribute to the committee's important work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luke. Does the council have any questions? I got a question.
Yes, sir.
When was the first donkey here?
The first donkey.
Yeah, when did it get established? I've been,
Oh man. So I was reading up on.
because you've been digging up bones and stuff. I mean, I find bones, but I just want to know when.
So the closest experience I've had conducting an archaeological project around here was up in Harupa. The first donkey, I would imagine, would have come after the initial settlers who founded the Agua Mansa project, including the Rubidoux family and the Trujillo family. As to the exact date, I would have to get back to you on that, but I promise I'll get an answer for you.
All right, because I did see him on Sears and Roebuck for $76 for. I just wanted to know. So.
Well, I'd say that's a pretty good deal. I'd get on that.
So thank you, Luke. But have you, do you know if there's any culture, I mean, like ancient villages here around here, Blue Mountain or anything? Do you know anything about the land here? You know, what?
We are in an area that a few different tribes have occupied throughout history. We're close to the Morongo Reservation, including Cahuilla and Serrano peoples. The Cahuilla Band of Indians in this area, as well as if you go towards where I work at La Sierra, we share, we are on the land of the Quiche Nation, Gabrieleño Band of Mission Indians, as well as the Luiseño and.
Oh, wow.
Actually, I believe that is comprehensive.
So do you know anything about the Agua Mansa, the village that used to be there?
So the village and later the cemetery. Yes, I do know a little bit about that. My background academically was in Near Eastern archaeology. It is professionally where I've been able to apply my skills to Southern California and Great Basin archaeology. But Agua Mansa is very interesting, especially given the fact that we've had multiple different waves, Mormon settlers, Seventh-day Adventists, earlier than that with the Californias, who were tasked with defending the settlements around here and their property.
All right. Well, the Mayor Pro Tem has a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for your interest in serving and being appointed. Just a few questions. I just want to confirm, Daisy or yourself, that you do reside in the city of Grand Terrace.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, wonderful. And have you had the opportunity to meet with any of the members from the historical committee or engaged in any other community activities outside of this committee?
So I have not had an opportunity to meet with the rest of the cultural committee. Okay. However, I have been active in Grand Terrace activities for quite some time. I participate in the Blue Mountain hike the past couple years. It's my family and I went to the trunk or treat. We brought my daughter, and she had a great time. We have. I was not able to make it to the last fair, but I do have. Those on my calendar coming up, but that's the extent of my involvement thus far. But I am excited to become more involved in the city.
I appreciate that. I thank you for your interest. Again, we have such a strong, tight-knit community, and we have a lot of events and very passionate people, such as Jason, who are spearheading those. So I look forward to you being able to fold in and be able to find your space with them. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Does anybody else have any questions? Daisy, is this a appointment by somebody?
It would be Mayor Pro Tem Sabino's appointee if she wishes to appoint that individual.
So
Yes.
the bribes go to her?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Do you wish to appoint this young man?
Yes.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, sir, and welcome aboard. And I think you guys got a big old celebration coming up on the 19th too, so.
Yes, I'm excited for the birthday. It's going to be an exciting time. Thank you so much I really appreciate it.
Thank you for everything. We appreciate it. Okay, we'll go ahead and close that. Do we have any future agenda items request? None? Anybody have?
Yeah, I had one issue that I wanted to bring up, and I'm not sure how Conrad would advise us on addressing this, but it's the recent rave at the National Horn Show. There were a lot of complaints from residents in Grand Terrace, and it seems to me that this last event was exceptional as far as the sound. We've had several over the past 2 or 3 years that haven't been nearly as loud. And as a governing body, we should send a message on behalf of our residents. And so I would ask Conrad how you'd like to handle that. I don't know that we need to go through a process like we went through for the airport as far as a formal meeting, but we need to do something to make sure that our residents' concerns are addressed.
I can send them a complaint letter from the city. If that's, and we've had a couple of meetings on this. We actually paid for sound surveys on the noise and the conductance, and some, depending on atmospheric conditions and humidity and all kinds of things, some nights are louder than others. But we certainly can send from the city, under the city manager's signature, a letter to the promoter that we're concerned about the sound on this event.
That would be fine. And can you report back to the council and out to the public then on a response from them once we hear back? Because I think that this last event wasn't acceptable. When people are being disturbed in their homes and can't enjoy their home due to an outside event, we need to step in. So I would like to do that.
I will be glad to report back on whatever response I get.
Thank you, sir.
You have something? Well, one thing about the rave, there is also, if you look on our website, you could turn in a noise complaint, so we have it on record. So that, and same with the airplanes flying over too. So documentation's the key point here. So, Mayor Pro Tem?
From future, again, I take your lead on how you would like to address whether or not we move, what a future agenda item would look like. And as a business owner in technology and with rapid change in technology, I would like to look at and consider a policy related to AI. And I know that it's been stated it's not something that's utilized, but there is no prohibition of the use of AI with regard to the business of the city. And so it's something that I would at least like to see a policy in place for.
So do you want to have an agenda to look into AI? Is that what you want to?
A policy.
A policy?
We would need to have some kind of, because we do use AI routinely as part of staff work, and the intention is to increase the use of AI for city services, not intrusively, but to reduce the repetitive and mundane tasks.
Certainly.
So if there's a concern with that, I need some definitions on.
Sure, and
Is the policy to limit it or to expand it?
to put guardrails to protect the city in that with AI, are we using public information, or is there a device that is specifically where it is only for the city and only used on that device, whether it's a laptop or, I don't know if y'all have, if anybody in there has a PC, but ensuring that because of the data mining with AI, that we have guardrails and that the information that is being entered into it is not being put into the data mining of these databases, and that those guardrails are in place for the protection of the city. And so it isn't to prohibit it at all, because in this day and age and the way things are moving, definitely we should be utilizing technology to be efficient. But I think also that it would behoove us if we weren't setting guardrails in place to make sure that we protect the intimate information of the city. And so that is what I would like to explore.
So how about if I come back with a report on how we use AI, how we intend to use AI, and then what our policies are on privacy and data integrity.
Sure. And I'm happy to sit and explore that more.
And then I can present, and then you will have a better understanding of what we do, and then come back, and if there needs to be direction, can give direction. If not, we can keep doing what it is we do.
Okay, thank you.
We'll do that. Thank you.
Anything else? No? Okay, we'll go ahead and close that. Thank you, council. Item I is City Council Communication. Councilman Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I don't want to be accused of being long-winded by the mayor, but I just want all of you to know that it's been a month since our last council meeting, and all of us have been working extremely hard on your behalf. I myself have attended a lot of community meetings, Cars and Coffee being one of them. I am the representative on the Colton Joint Unified School District's Community Cabinet. I attended that meeting, and the focus on that was school site safety and security. There was an update from law enforcement agencies that are protecting our students. The Fall Festival at Terrace View Elementary School, Red Ribbon Week at Terrace View Elementary School. We did had a fantastic turnout at the Halloween trunk or treat. Many of you were involved in that. I had the opportunity to meet with a couple of different potential new businesses that are looking at moving to Grand Terrace and expansions of existing businesses in Grand Terrace, and I met with those business owners. And I attended the kickoff meeting for the annual point-in-time homeless count, which takes place in January. They're always looking for volunteers for that, so if any of you are interested, you could see me. I also attended a meeting that was focused on how cities can develop sports facility projects, everything from like planning the land use and zoning to financing sports recreational facilities, and that's definitely something we need in Grand Terrace. We need more soccer fields that are in good condition. And just this morning, I attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and we did a ribbon cutting for the new Grand Terrace Modern Dentistry offices. So it's been a busy month, and it's my honor to serve all of you. And that's just the highlight of all the events. That goes without all the phone calls and text messages, but I'm always available if you need me. And that's all I have today, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Allen?
Okay, thanks, Mayor. The trunk or treat was a good one, and like you mentioned, but you know, I'm curious about next year since they're saying we outgrew the spot. You know, I guess I'm sure the city manager has a plan in place. But the community really likes that event a lot, and I'm glad that we have the participation we do from all the community members. And in early November on the 4th, I attended the Civic Well conference. It was a Zoom conference on CEQA reform. And on the 5th, the next day, I represent the city on the San Bernardino County Regional Steering Committee's Office of Homeless Services and for the Central Valley. And I attended that meeting where we discussed the distribution of services and funds for homeless services in the county. On November 7th, there was an AI seminar, an artificial intelligence seminar in Loma Linda, and I know the Several of my colleagues attended that. I was there, and that was so interesting and informative on how AI is being used, the future of AI. They had the president of the Loma Linda University Medical Center was there talking about how they use AI in healthcare, and the technology director from Esri over in Redlands was there talking about the use of AI in mapping technologies. Really, really amazing. And then the director of artificial intelligence and computer science at Cal State San Bernardino, which, by the way, is one of the leading universities in the United States in computer science, security, and engineering. I was pleasantly surprised to hear that about Cal State San Bernardino for computer security. And he gave a presentation, a great presentation on the use of AI. And what I left from there was this, that people should not be afraid of AI taking their job. From these leaders of industries and use of AI saying, people don't need to be worried about AI taking their job. What they need to be worried about is somebody who knows how to use AI taking their job. That's the future, is in artificial intelligence. So yeah, a couple of days, we had on last Monday on November 10th, Dutch Brothers broke ground. Looking forward to that coming along here in a few months. Now down there where GT Pit Stop used to be, you'll see there's construction going on. I was real pleased about that. And then yesterday, Veterans Day at the Freedom Wall, another great event our community hosts and to recognize our veterans. As a veteran myself, I appreciate that. I'm drinking my water from my recognition cup from my unit that I served in combat with in the U.S. Army, my little re-enlistment cup that I got. And today was a great event at the Modern Dentistry. You know, it used to be called Hollywood Video. And those of you who've lived here for a while, it's been sitting empty for so long. Now it's a nice new dental clinic. When they named it Modern Dentistry for a reason, it really is. They gave us a tour. They have the finest lab work in there. They can make crowns in there and do all that kind of stuff. And it's really a fantastic addition to our community, and I'm very glad it's here. So if you're looking for a dental clinic, we have a new one. And I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. And those of you who are listening out there in YouTube land, thank you also.
Councilman Wilson?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, attended the trunk or treat. I was really looking forward to that. You know, I've been here for almost 50 years, and I've seen these neighborhoods change. And it used to be that since we had all the street lights, most of the street lights in town, we used to get a lot of kids. They actually drop them off right in front of our house. You know, they'd come up in truckloads. But we don't have any kids coming into our neighborhood anymore, and so that was our big opportunity to meet with the public and grab big fistfuls of candy and stuff them into kids' packs and so on. And it was just a real good activity. Did attend the Loma Linda Leadership Summit like Jeff did and Michelle. And the takeaway from that was, other than the fact it was a great piano player, in the interim there, kind of the intermission before they started this stuff, is gather intelligence, refine, and verify. One of the things, and there was one particular individual that spoke that really made an impression on me, and he was Vincent Nestler, PhD for CSUSB, Director for Center for Cyber and AI. And his title was, "Is AI going to eat my lunch and then me? What employees of tomorrow need to know?" And Jeff was absolutely correct. He said, don't worry about AI, worry about the person that's going to know how to operate with AI taking your job. The most important takeaway for me is that we have to keep the human element in AI. And there's a very good reason for that. As you can imagine, artificial intelligence isn't any different than any other quote-unquote intelligence, although I wonder about our federal level. And that is, when we're talking about people's agendas, you know, they used to say back in the 286 DX2, 386 DX2 days that junk in meant junk out for computers. Really hasn't changed a whole lot, but now you've got a thinking entity that can make up its own agendas. And so that means that's the reason why we have to have the human element in there. We have to be able to verify. We have to make sure that somehow things don't get snuck in there, that some other, let's call it, enemy doesn't change the program and make it difficult for us to be able to keep a decent nation underfoot. And so that seemed to be a good idea. That seemed to be a very good way to deal with things. The Dutch brothers groundbreaking, I saw today that they were doing over X in the parameters set aside by the lot corners that they put together for their building. I didn't see a water truck on site, Mr. City Manager. So I was a little concerned about how they did their compaction. But other than that, they're in the process. They were taking a lot of pipes out of the ground that were still left over from that area being a gas station at one point. Also, the Grand Terrace Dentistry ribbon cutting, that was neat. That was terrific. I echo the amazement at the technology, and I am sure I'm going to finance the dentist's next car with the amount of work I need to get done in this nasty old mouth of mine. Don't forget the activity on the night. Oh, by the way, Grand Terrace Dentistry used to be a bank. It used to be Security Pacific Bank before it became a video store, and then it became the Grand Terrace Dentistry ribbon cutting, and it was vacant for a long time. Don't forget the activity on the 19th, the Grand Terrace birthday, 47th birthday. A lot of people working very hard to make sure that there's a decent program for it. There's food, fun, all that good stuff that Grand Terrace is known for. And there's a lot of research going on right now. So, person that's just come on to the Historical Society, yeah, there's a closet back here that's got a lot of old documents and things that might be interesting to you. And there's some interviews that were done by the previous Historical Society president that go back 45 years. And they grabbed people up that had entered the area back in 1909. So, and as early as things have happened in this area, they actually started back in the 1830s and 40s. There's a lot to deal with, so we're in the process of trying to put a book together on it. Anyway, don't forget about it, and it's on the 19th, and it'll be at the junior high. So, and that's all I've got, Mayor.
What time on the 19th?
Heck, I don't know. What time is it? Do you know?
5 to 8.
Yeah, 4 to 8 o'clock, something like that. Okay, anyway. All right. You know, be there or be square.
All right, thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
All right, thank you. First, I just want to thank everyone who's contributed and donated their time to the substation. Like Johan, my passion point is the safety of this community and our law enforcement officers. I'm glad to see it's gone beyond my small fridge that I've donated in there. And so thank you to everyone for making that happen. This week we celebrated not only just our veterans, but the Marine Corps birthday. Hoorah.
Hoorah.
Hoorah. Thank you, sir, for your service, and thank you, Jeff,
I
as
look pretty
well.
good for 250 years old, don't I?
And to our community, I was unable to be present. I'm a homeschool parent, and so I was obligated to, my daughter's classes that she attends were not canceled. And so we had a 4-H citizens training class with leadership and such. And so the day does not go by without understanding that there were sacrifices that were made by men and women, not only of their time, but of their life that they might have put on hold to serve this great country. So thank you to our veterans. Like Matt, I attended the Trunk or Treat and Fall Festival. Our children hang out with each other, so those are things that our girls do together. I also attended Cars and Coffee with a celebration in remembrance of Mike Correa, and so thank you to Johan and to the family for putting that together as well. I attended the AI event, however, that didn't prompt my incline for tonight's request. At the AI event, a lot of things were brought up, and one of the great things I was able to do at that time was connect with Esri. And so if you're not familiar with Esri out of Redlands, they are a tech company that specializes in mapping in geological areas. However, before I had left to that AI conference, I believe it was a day or two before, there was an Edison truck that blew by my house, and it said inspection or something of that sort, and it had a man with his head out the window. His head was out the window.
Red flag
and he was,
inspection.
And so he was scoping to make sure that there weren't any dangers in any red flag areas. And in the age of technology, there are some things that don't require that type of boots on the ground, and Esri brought that forward at this AI event, and that they actually, who remembers the outages that we had and people 9 days without power, including our senior center, where in the state of California, legislation continues to come down that forces residents to subscribe to all electric homes for their heating, for their cooking. And so we had seniors who weren't able to take hot baths in very cold weather. They weren't able to cook because their stoves were electric. And we had to wait almost 48 hours, if not more, until somebody could come out and physically scope the lines. And Esri, what they showed us was that they have the technology to actually send drones to go out and map and find areas that are a danger to the community. And I said, heck, we need to talk. And so, talk about being in the right place at the right time. So that was something that was fantastic that came out of that conference for me. I did attend the ribbon cutting as well for Modern Dental. They are exceeding in technology, and I am grateful. Thank you again for choosing Grand Terrace. We're excited to have them here, and if you have the opportunity to go visit, I highly recommend that. I will close with this. A lot of people were concerned with those who were going to lose opportunities of having access to SNAP or food, especially with the holidays approaching. And Grandview Baptist Church, they're a small church here in Grand Terrace. They are a very humble church. And in the past, long before there was even a shutdown, they were able to provide meals to 125 families locally. And it's been some time that it's been reduced to 95 families. And residents were reaching out to me asking, what are we going to do? What about people who are going to go without food? And I've referred them over to Grandview Baptist Church. If you would like to make a food donation or a monetary contribution, they are open and available to that. If you're not sure how to reach them, you can reach out to me. I'm working with Grocery Outlet to be able to provide families with meals as well, and so tomorrow we will be making that donation to the church. And so that is everything I have. And again, if there's anything that you need from me or that you have concerns, by all means, please reach out. Do not hesitate. And I'm happy to talk with anyone after today's meeting. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Yeah, just like Councilmember Brown said, we're still busy doing stuff, you know, at SCAG and SBCTA and Omnitrans, and you know, we represent our city. The ribbon cutting at Modern Dental, as Johan was pointing out, everybody remembers it was Hollywood Video, and so I brought him a VCR tape or VHS tape, and it had Hollywood Video on it. I told him I kept it in my truck for 20 years. I had to turn it in, but then they wanted to charge me $1 because I didn't rewind it, so I don't know. So that was my gift to the young man. He's probably like he never saw a VHS tape before, but you know, they're really nice staff there, and we wish him well. We thanked him for opening his business there. It was nice to see a vacant building with somebody in there now, so it's always a good thing. So I know the next is the Mr. TV place. We got to get that done, and I'm hoping if they ever do that I don't have residents on Historical Society say, well, that Mr. TV sign's a, you know, landmark. I don't know, but, you know, so we'll probably get that. So, yeah, so we'll probably have to take that and move it somewhere. I don't know, so. Excuse me. Yes, the Veterans Day celebration was great. It was in a kind of bittersweet, though. Myself and Robert Macias and Kristen, we went out there to the National Cemetery and put some flags up. We bought our own flags and put like 400 flags up. It was, you know, that cemetery usually has, it's just all the colors are flying everywhere. And just because of a budget crisis that was man-made, kept us honoring our veterans. So we did have, you know, I know the Boy Scouts went out and put flags on Montesino, but it was bittersweet, but, you know, people were coming up and asking, where'd you get the flag? So people wanted to do it. So hopefully it won't happen again. But, yeah, it's when, like the Councilor Wilson said, you know, you got to look at the human factor, and they're supposed to do what we're, you know, take care of our people when you're in office. And hopefully SNAP will have their funds available for them. But yeah, it's nice that our church, that little church right there, can able to supply meals. Also, the San Bernardino City Mission can supply turkey meals too. Salvation Army. So there's a lot of resources out there. I know Assemblymember Castillo, they were handing out turkeys too, and I don't know anywhere else. But you know, it's when you come together and you know, make sure people aren't hungry. And I know the officers, you know, they're always welcome to my house, you know, and come over. Or we could go to the fire department. You know, I know they probably had deep fried turkey there and stuff. So, but speaking of that, it was a great ceremony, and it was an honor yesterday where my 92-year-old grandfather lives. He's a Korean War vet, 2-time Purple Heart. He's got some stories, but they recognized him over at the Mission Commons, so he was all happy about that. So hopefully during Memorial Day, I'm going to get to say his story about the Korean War, so it's pretty interesting. But also be careful that the rains are going to be coming down, so slick roads. Just drive safely. And please, when you're driving, especially when you're taking your kids to school, please stop at the stop signs. You know, my wife, she actually confronted another lady who ran right through while the kid was going through on the crosswalk and had his bicycle, and it actually was a young lady dropping her kid off at school, but she was more worried about that. So, you know, be cognizant of people out there and these, you know, young people walking back and forth. You know, we have our shares, but they can't be everywhere all the time. But hopefully we'll get some traffic signals put in. Then again, it just depends on the driver. You can put traffic signals, you can put spike strips, you can put everything else out. It just depends on the driver. So please drive carefully. And then, you know, like I said, it was the Marine Corps' 250th birthday. And, you know, so after Halloween, that's all as Marines do. We get ready to celebrate. And, you know, it's some good times. And, you know, it's nice for the camaraderie, and is able to hand out a couple coins, you know, one to Jim Miller for the 250th anniversary, and another young man, Stephen here, he was in the Marine Corps too, and I got to meet him. So, you know, the camaraderie in every branch of the service is, you know, what's great, and that's what makes our nation great. You know, we harass each other. You know, I hear how many crayons I'm eating every time. I can't really do crayons. I think I'm crayon intolerant, like lactose intolerant, so, you know. But anyway, but what makes us a great nation is our men and women who are serving our country and protecting our country. Right now, we have men and women in harm's way, protecting our freedoms, and our freedoms so we could, you know, be here tonight as a governing body. So once again, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. City Manager, you have anything to?
Yeah, I'll be brief, but the city birthday, we brought it up a couple times. On the 19th, 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock at the junior high school, there will be cake and a couple of speakers on the discussing the history of the city and where we've come from and hopefully where we're going to go. And I'm glad to see that from the Historic and Cultural Society is really taking an effort on the historic portion rather than the cultural portion and really preserving what history we have of Grand Terrace. It's an important thing. We haven't done a good job on that in the past, and this group is doing an excellent job on making sure that we're preserving that history. We're doing our point in time count for the homeless coming up here in the next couple of weeks. I'd like to thank Councilmember Allen and Councilmember Brown, who both stepped up and volunteered. So our city staff will be involved in this count, which is really unusual for a city to have the council members step up and do the work. I think it speaks a lot for their commitment to the community. And with that, you know, we've cleaned up, as far as I know, all the homeless camps in town. We had some fairly large ones down at the end of Van Buren in the trees and one on Main Street. And we've expended quite a bit of time and effort to clean those. So we hope with any luck, your count will be as close to 0 as possible. And finally, there was a couple of mentions of the Trunk or Treat. It's a great event. Every year it gets better and better. Unfortunately, I think we've outgrown our spot where we're at this year. You know, parking is an issue. The event itself is great, but we're really concerned about safety of people crossing Martin Road. So we will be exploring a new location. I don't know where yet, but we have some ideas, and there's a couple sites we'll measure and weigh and see how they work in for parking and safety and ability for us to use it. And other than that, I am done. The LT and the chief tell me they have nothing of pertinence to contribute, so that's it. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you, and thank you again for you guys putting all the effort and money and time, you know, in our substation, and you know, just keep moving forward, and one day I see it fully staffed, and you know, our officers can not only protect our residents, but also protect themselves. So get ready. Next year, we're going to hit the ground running, so I'm sure we'll bring that forward, and all hands on deck. But anyway, I don't think, you know, we won't be back till December 9th. So I want everybody to enjoy their Thanksgiving, and, you know, just remember our loved ones, remember our fallen, and, you know, tonight's meeting, and we're going to close in honor of Deputy Andrew Nunez. You know, his family is mourning right now, and there's, you know, we could say thoughts and prayers for him, and we do pray for the family, and we pray for you guys every day for your safety. But, you know, he put his life on the line to save that young lady. And you know, he's a hero, and but I know it hurts when, you know, a brother or sister in arms is fallen. So our prayers also for the Sheriff's Department and for his brothers and sisters too. So our next city council meeting will be held December 9th at 6 p.m. Any request to have an item on the future agenda must be written in writing. So once again, we're closing in honor of Deputy Nunez, and have a happy Thanksgiving. God bless. Thank you.